Hello, 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 hello. Doing my last couple of checks, being sure. Rearrange my mic a little bit. Do. Make sure everything is in a decent place. Make sure everything's running. Oh, ow. Neuropad did not start. Camera, camera. Sorry, I'm moving my mic around. Literally lifting it and moving it. I think my mic was blocking my camera. Neuropad? What's going on? So, we were going to play Fate Grand Order, but BlueStacks kept crashing on me. Let me try it this way. For some reason, BlueStacks just did not want to load up. So, okay, good. This game is recommended to play with a controller. That's why I'm using a controller. I also expect, based on the way I played the demo, that I might need to go PNG for this. But we'll see. We'll see how far I get into it and if my frames drop like crazy. I also had different streaming settings at that point in time, so it might be okay now. It might be okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am gonna clean my glasses. Oh my god. My glasses. My glasses. But in this couple seconds while we're getting ready, how's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? I hope so. There's so much little stuff going on that it feels like there's a lot going on, even though they're all really little things. Glasses? Are they clean enough? I think I might need new glasses. Things are getting a little blurry. Not blurry, but like I could see better, you know. Check my audio. I could hear more. I could hear more on my side. Try to keep it about the same for you guys. I hate systems. That's me. That's me. That's all dinging on my side. Good. That should be alright. We'll see also when we get into it if I have to turn it down and if I have to go PNG. We'll see what happens. But here we go. I've already loaded up once and it did alright. So hopefully it'll do alright again. This is a very ASMR video game. I remember playing the demo. It was awesome.
Who are you? I don't know, but I'm writing to you anyway. Where are you? How far in the future? Where'd you find my journal? I may never know, but you can know me from what I put down on these pages. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight, just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter
my
a
phone's
new
ringing.
era. A great change is coming. Everyone was afraid. I was surrounded by questions and I began to feel how little I know. What is this season that is about to end? And why is it ending? What exactly is out there that could turn the world inside out? If there are still voices singing and laughing in the wilderness, I could record them before they're gone. I also thought of my dad, who always wanted to see the outside world but never did. So, I asked if I could leave. The elder had
Oh my
one
god, she's
condition for letting
huge.
me go. That I take what I collect to the museum vault, a palace of art and memory at the edge of the earth.
Ooh.
She says it's the only place safe from the turmoil of a changing season. I hope that's where you're reading this now. I can't stop the change that is coming, but this time on Earth could live on in these pages. What it looks like, sounds like, how it feels to be alive right now. I'm writing to you at the crack of dawn on the morning I leave home. I can smell breakfast cooking in the other room, and I can hear my mom's voice.
Alright. Key unviewed concluded. And this is all of what we just read. Oh, I love the drawings. I love the little art. Her friend's got such a cute design. Okay. Nothing to turn to yet. Alright, here comes the test. Oh! My capture stopped. Why did my capture stop? What happened? I'm checking. I'm getting it back. Oh, there it is. Hopefully, it'll be okay. And the frames are doing just fine. Let me see about... I'm unsure about changing the aspect ratio from the widescreen because I feel like I remember it getting wider at some points, but I'm not sure. Oh my god. One more time, let's destroy our eardrums. Wow. One more time. Oh, that's not as bad. Still pretty loud, but oh, cute.
3, 2, 1. Hooray!
Bum, ba,
Mr.
ba.
Lotto's here.
Do they say the same thing each time?
I'm tired.
Bro, same. Bro, same.
3,
2,
2,
1.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Mr. Lotto's here.
Oh, cute. A little creepy, but cool. A catalog of strangers. Fearsome tales for blasé children? Let's read it. Oh, I can't actually open it. Ooh. Catalog of Strangers is an introduction to the more frightful aspects of this world. A reasonable amount of fear and fun makes for prudent children. Spooky. What the textures?
My bag and Dad's camera, ready for the great departure.
Oh, ribbon. Oh. Wandering Tale Festival. First place. I know what that means. Origami is the bird. Folded by Pete. Pet? We'll find out. Ceramic. Hope you like him more than you would have liked a fish. That is very cool. Little scrungly guy. Little scrunglies. We enjoy scrunglies. Insect? Oh, that's a pretty insect. I'm not a bug person, but that's a pretty insect. Old bill. Old money. The owl spreads her wings over prosperity. This bill is worth 10 poems. Prismatic treasury. Interesting. Okay, okay. Oh. Pictures. Mom and Dad's portrait. Nightlife in the Plaza, 801. And the sketch. Dad. I like the contour style. Nice. I went out for a climb. Be back this evening. XOXO. Okay, 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 okay. What's mine doing? Absorb the moment or study the scene. Study.
The burner's on the table, ready to make a pendant. Mom is cooking sweet bark soup. She got out some old tapes.
Oh, I didn't get to say hi yet. You're up. I am.
What are you doing standing there?
I chose capitalization because convenience. I wanted to be sure that I didn't misread any of the letters or anything.
Time to get going.
Sounds like it'll be mostly voiced anyways,
It's
though.
gonna be a beautiful morning. I'm making progress. I found the burner, camera, recorder, travel bag. Breakfast is in progress. Still gotta make a pendant.
A pendant.
I haven't used this in so long. Good thing I saved the instructions. Just as you would use a shield to protect your body, an identity pendant protects your mind. Your thoughts, memories, everything that makes you, you. We don't wear them here in the village anymore, but if you're going into the outside world, I'll feel better when you've got a pendant shielding you.
Against what?
Diseases of the mind, like the dream sickness.
Where'd the pendants come from?
It was Dr. Fumio's last invention.
Oh, Dr. Fumio. I remember him from the demo.
He realized that some psychedelic maladies were impossible to cure, so he made the pendant to prevent them in the first place. If you have a better idea how to protect your brain from being destroyed, let's hear it. That's what I thought.
Her mouth isn't moving. Psychic.
In times of war,
Convenience.
a pendant can be used to identify a body. Let's skip that part. Objects have two layers, the physical and the mental. The pendant needs to absorb both. 1. Collect a sentimental object for each sense: sound, smell, feel, sight, taste. 2. Feel the sense and speak aloud a memory of the object.
Kind of echoey too, so it is kind of like
3.
she's talking in my mind.
Feed the object into the burner. The memory will leave the speaker as it is transferred to the pendant. That means I'll forget the memory if I say it. It's supposed to be painless, at least.
I could do it and I'll lose the memories instead. I could do it.
No, you must remember everything.
Oh, okay.
That's your role.
I could tell you the memory after you lose it.
And it needs this little sacrifice. I want to be sure it works. Don't be afraid. A few memories is a small price to pay for knowing you'll be safe. Okay, so this old tape should work for our sense of sound.
Okay.
I remember.
Is she gonna forget the day that she met her dad?
You and I fell asleep listening to this tape.
Oh.
Your dad came home. We all rested together.
It is dark. It's not. It didn't lose connection again. It's a nice little memory. Oh. Oh, magic.
What an odd feeling. Like an absence, disappearing. The empty space fills itself back in until I forget that I forgot anything at all. I'm glad I'm only losing a few memories. If I lost too many, I wouldn't even know who you are. You should pick the rest of the objects. I'll lose the memories, but you'll have them in the pendant forever. So they should be important to you. They should be parts of your identity you want to be sure to protect. So think about what these items and what the memories would preserve about you. Let's do smell next. Find an object with a strong odor
Oh, okay.
and that holds a piece of you.
Can I move the camera? No. Something with an odor. There's flowers. Oh, what's this? Ginger drink.
Childhood. Too sweet, too old. I always wanted to experience new things.
That's a lot of stuff. Good for body aches, congestion, blocked nasal cavities, hot ears, upside down stomach disorder, flights of fancy, dorsal inflammation, spastic melancholia, loud dreams, poor foot, pod foot, not poor foot, pod foot. wandering tingles, moonburn, and birthdays. Oh man. Good for birthdays. Nothing in life is ever guaranteed, really. No guarantee applies. Wow. So it's just kind of a thing. I might use that. Let me look here.
Ancient perfume, sweet. Nothing is ever lost.
I kind of like the idea of the ginger. Oh, is that candle?
Honey, wax, baby, waves. I was loved by people I have no memory of.
Last and last as long as I burn. May the moment last and last as long as I burn. Oh, I can look on the side too.
Granite, seaside, darkness.
Age 9.
This speaks to how my mom loves me.
Let me check the room one more time. There's the bow. Is there anything on the table? No. I think I'm going with the ginger drink. Even though it's probably more of a
Nothing.
smell or
I
taste.
used to see souls everywhere.
But
I always wanted to experience new things. I always wanted to experience new things.
I guess we'll go easy and go with the flower. Seems like a simple choice.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep.
I totally took a breath.
Your dad used to bring these flowers home from his climbs. They only grow high up in the mountains. He was a great climber. He even found us a new source of water.
Wow.
I hoped after he would climb less, maybe even retire. But he always wanted to explore, and the only direction to go was up. Maybe the Elder is letting you leave out of guilt for what happened to your dad. If someone has the energy to leave, it needs to go somewhere. He fell into the Fitz ravine. We never found his body. But doesn't he rest with us at night? Doesn't he appear in our dreams? How can such a human being depart this earth without leaving behind a trace as strong as the flowers would still have their scent? Darling, I don't want to lose this one. I can't lose this one.
Well, that's okay.
Can we put the flowers back, please?
Yeah, I'm okay with keeping
Thank
this one.
you.
And that means I can choose the ginger drink. I'm sure there will be a reason for about each one, but I wanted the ginger drink anyways.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep. This ginger drink has been in our family for generations. And you, as soon as you were old enough to talk, you said, let's drink it. It's hundreds of years old. Like you already wanted to experience something different. Well, we all had one horrible sip. But boy, we laughed. What would we do without you? What will we do without you? Now touch. Pick something with a texture you like.
I'm getting the stuffed animal. Stuff. Oh, actually,
Cool, scratchy palm grains. A friend gave me this a long time ago.
yes.
So what did you end up choosing? Okay, feel the surface. A cool stone. I remember. This was in the months after your father passed. You didn't seem sad, but you just weren't interested in anything. It was hard to know what to do. One day, you and your friend Pate went fishing.
It is pate. I didn't want to think it was pate because I've been catching up with Critical Role in pate. Oh my gosh, pate.
You didn't catch anything, of course. But when I was putting away your bucket, we found this creature there. Pate
Oh.
had dropped it in without you noticing. I remember how it made you smile. And I thought, oh, no matter how much things have changed, I will get to see my little girl smile again.
No. You okay?
I'm fine. Let's do sight next. Pick something that looks nice.
That looks nice. Okay. Okay. Looks nice.
Worn
Oh.
cover. How I always wanted to meet these strangers.
I kind of want to do this. I really like the art of it. And it seems interesting.
So, what did you end up choosing? This book is supposed to make children afraid of the outside world. Every household has a copy, but it had its purpose in the old days. What with the chaos and violence and confusion, but it didn't work on you. You were scared of the images, but as soon as you could talk, you had questions. Are they hungry? Did they get enough sleep?
Did they get enough sleep?
Soon enough, the creatures became familiar.
Are they hangry?
You dreamed of meeting them. They became your friends. Another moment when I began to realize what kind of person you are, that you were born to step outside of our lives here.
Oh, this game is so chill. I'm already getting sleepy. Is that it?
For taste, we can eat
Oh.
breakfast and feed some to the burner. The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now.
Oh no.
I want you to have it forever.
Does that mean she won't remember that we're leaving?
We're standing here. You're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories. A gem of home around your neck. This is my only condition for letting you go. You must promise me never to take the pendant off. And never tamper with it. Okay? Then I'm okay with you leaving.
Hey.
I think your camera and bag are still in your room. It's time to gather them up.
Hey. Can I take some candy? Oh, read. Melon honey flavor. Ooh, interesting. Checking my frame rate. Just double checking. I'm good to go. I wonder if you can get an especially strong one just by choosing a bunch of stuff that reminds you of your dad. You know what I mean?
I've lost so much. How could the world ask me to lose you too?
Oh, oh. Oh, that was me. That was me. The game did that one.
Look at us. There we are. There we were. We'll always be right here on this beautiful morning.
Aw. Aw. I'm sorry, I have to fix something on my computer real quick. On Streamlabs. I got an achievement, home lever. Okay.
I just performed a ritual with my mom. The moment has passed, but I'll record it in these pages for you for the future.
Oh. Oh. Can I rotate? Can I? Oh, it's a journaling game. Oh, I love it already. That's not exactly how it goes, but that was a clip that I made when I first played the demo before. It's very fun. Oh, I see. In the demo, you had flowers, a picture of your dad, I think, and something else. But interesting. Can I make it smaller? Rotate it a bit. I can't do that right now. I wanted to rearrange a little bit, but that's okay. The Book of Strangers. Ginger bottle. And a pate. Very nice, very nice. There's also other ways to add
I
stuff,
never
like
knew when my mom
words
would
and
share
stuff
a
like that.
memory of Dad while cooking,
So,
on a walk, with no warning. It knocked the wind out of me. Rituals take this grief and give it a shape and a story. Filling in this journal is a ritual too, but for a loss that hasn't hit us yet.
okay, now I think, yeah, there we go. Bum, bum, bum. Oops. Right, okay. That works. Maybe like this? And yes, we are going to be spending lots of time doing this because I love it. Not a lot of time. We'll definitely like keep a decent pace. But it's gonna be a long stream anyways. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. And let's get one more quote in there. Let's put this one in. Yeah. It's kind of messy, but it works for now. For now. Dun, dun, dun. Okay,
I've
here we
brought
go.
tools to record the sights and sounds of this season. I'll start by recording the only place I've ever known.
Okay, so the game isn't changing border format, so I'm gonna move it just a little bit. Make it a little bigger. And we're gonna switch to this one. Oh, I gotta rearrange things a little bit more. Hold on. It didn't adjust it on this one. There we go. I think that works. I might have to move over a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That works, at least for now. Okay. I vaguely remember. Well, yes. It'll definitely give me the rest of the keys and everything as we go. Audio recorder.
Public sleep music is a tradition of ours here. When the music ends, the village will begin to wake up.
Getting a little bit of stuttering. Might have to adjust some settings a bit.
You have plenty of fresh water here. I wonder if it's more scarce in the outside world. Last night there was a goodbye party here in the plaza. Everyone was so afraid for me. To understand that fear, to understand where I grew up, you have to know the man standing watch over the plaza, Dr. Fumio.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna crouch. Have to hold it. Focus. There, I think. Yeah.
Last night, my friends wrote down their hopes for my trip and tied them to the branches of this tree.
Oh. We're gonna look at the party first, and then we'll check out the stuff about Dr. Fumio. Was that a bird? Did I see a bird?
This is a healing instrument created by Dr. Fumio. It draws on the pure mountain air. Dr. Fumio and his son founded Cairo back in 776. They live on through our
Oh,
traditions.
okay. Take pictures and record audio to find the answers. Number these three. Know where that one is. And I have this one. So,
There are 3 murals celebrating Dr. Fumio's work.
no, I can run. Almost forgot. Camera.
Dr. Fumio said the dream sickness was caused by something very powerful. He wasn't able to cure it.
Oh, that's cute.
Cairo Village is nice
Oh.
if you're a child or an old person.
How much can you
For
comment
those of
on?
us in between, I need to leave.
Fish in the sky. Goodbye, Cairo.
Pate's little daydream of leaving this place, of seeing something weird.
Oh, what's this thing here? Music and poetry.
This is the cafe where my dad used to read his poems. He wrote one for me. Maybe he wrote it for you too.
Hey, it doesn't say anything about me having limited film.
A wish fell off the tree. I'm not supposed to read them, but it might be good for you to have an example of one.
Yeah, I'll read it. I hope she comes back and tells everyone it's safe to leave.
I can go against tradition a little for posterity.
Oh, there's another one.
Remembering everything must be painful. Dr. Fumio brought peace to so many people here.
Memory access? Oh. Interesting. Let's go from this side.
This is Dr. Fumio and his son. The statue isn't as old as it looks. The artist wore it down to give it a feeling of ancientness
Oh,
and the authority that comes with it.
interesting. Oh, that's cute.
Pate loves fish, even though nobody here has ever seen one.
No one's ever seen. What? No one's ever seen a fish? Even I've seen fish. There should be one more mural. It might be over here. Yeah. Augusta Kale.
The elder sought out Dr. Fumio to cure her mother, who was suffering from time misperception.
Interesting. Okay. Oh. Oh, I can read it. Mark the day Dr. Fumio cured time misperception disorder. Interesting. I feel like I'm hearing bells here for some reason. Oh. Is it in the trees? Is the bell is it in the tree?
These birds migrate, but we don't know where they come from or where they're going.
Interesting. Oh yeah, I want to picture this thing.
I had to drink this gross potion last night. Like my pendant, it's supposed to protect my brain.
Yeah, smell it.
Smells like an old man's toes dipped in cinnamon.
Ugh. That's so specific. Ugh. Ugh. It's gross. It's got kind of a tank camera. Like, it's easier to move it standing still. All right. Oh, there's one other thing that I wanted to... I remembered there being a plaque. Somewhere around here. Huh. Fishing stuff? So there's no fish.
I go fishing here with my best friend Pate, even though there's nothing to catch. We both appreciate the silence.
I thought I would do that. It is quiet. Alright, let's make the one for Dr. Fumio. This one. 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 That one.
Dr. Fumio was an important person, but we also just have a need to put a human face on events that are beyond our control. He may have felt just as scared and helpless as everyone else.
Okay. Just... Okay. I'm going to include this. I'm going to include this. Tiny. Oh, I want to fill in more.
A village that was created as a place to heal. Is that where my instinct to try to help comes from? It's so strange to imagine I'll be shaped by places and people I haven't met yet. So strange to imagine that I might feel at home somewhere else.
That's fair. New stamps and conclusion on them. What does that mean? Conclusion. Rotate. I like the stamps. That's nice. One more picture. One more picture. This one. Stuff potato. Let's make it a little bigger. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No. Gonna cross out I'm not supposed to read this, but might be okay. I don't want to just survive. To just survive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we got Dr. Fumio. Basis of all of our traditions. Oh. Oh, I guess I can't move those. Yeah, that works. That works for now. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, this is what I wanted to picture of.
Caro Village was founded during the modernity. Much later, Dr. Fumio arrived and remade it in his image.
Are you gonna switch that one out? Oh, we had a little bit of frame rate. I saw it. I saw it. It might just be because of the menu change and all that. I think this is about where I started having issues before. Which is fair. Because there's fog over the hills and all that.
This flower
I'm
means
taking a flower.
you're in my thoughts. The morning after the search was called off for Dad, our doorstep was covered in them.
Damn. Can I put stuff in other pages? Doesn't look like it. No. Stop. Flip through the pages. Very good. Great. It was definitely just the fog and all that. We're getting a little crunchy again. We'll see. I might even just be able to fix it with. Oh, I heard something clack. Closing. Closing that.
A trip, just as slow, reliable, and oddly satisfying as life itself in this little village.
Still getting a little bit stutter. The
Is it
rumble.
recording?
Yes.
Okay. How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now, stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.
We gotta switch to PNG tuber. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. It's not a problem. Hi. Haha. Haha. Oh. Haha. Hehehe. I'm PNG. I'm PNG. I'm PNG. I'm gonna make myself a little smaller. I'm PNG. I'm PNG. I'm PNG. We're here for vibes. We're here for the game. Alright. Wait, we're good? Still a little chunky. Better. Better friends. It's a little chunky now, but I played chunkier. I would switch back to mini VTuber, but not too worried. Not too worried. Oh, I remember this.
Pt fixed up 3 bikes instead of 1.
Give me a sec. Interesting. Looks like it's worth on more. Alright. Here we go. I'm taking yellow. Yellow. Achievement unlocked. Outside world's here. Mount bicycle. Okay, okay, okay. Better, better. You're doing okay. You guys are still gonna get some of stutter, but hopefully it won't last too long. Title! I saw that. I saw a thing down there. That's where the demo ended. Ooh. I didn't do that. Park bicycle with B, okay. So this wagon. I also want to take a picture of some stuff over this way. Here we go. Oh, wait. No. Uh, only a short one. I don't know all what's important. Ooh, windows. See some, like, oil rigging or something like that? It's interesting. I'll take a look around here. What's that? A nest? Oh, I think that's a nest. Oh, definitely.
I wish
Interesting
humans
bird
had
sound.
evolved to sing instead of talk.
Interesting. Oh, what we got over here? Oh, a letter? Who's it for? I'm opening it. Read it. Dear Estelle, I'll be surprised if this letter reaches you. The war has become a deranged sleeper thrashing in bed. Become like a deranged sleeper thrashing in bed. Eyes closed tight. I've noticed how the soldiers strip people of their clothes first. A smaller deranged degradation, which permits everything that follows. I wish I had loved you more completely when the world allowed it. Love, Odell.
They were right. The letter never made it. The season before this one, the war, seems so horrible.
The seasons must be another way of saying, like, era. The Azin Islands. Little goblins. Tiang Valley. Oh. Oh my gosh. There's stuff written on it. Hey, guess where I am? I had to pay respects to the birthplace of Manches. There's a lot of tourists, but also a weird feeling to the place. It would take more than a postcard to explain. Take care. Aldo. From Tiang Valley. Interesting. In Karo Village. Don't bother trying to visit Karo Village. It simply isn't that kind of location. This village is very hard to find, but if you really need it, somehow you make it your way there. Just wanted to let you know that I'm staying here for good. Beast season can only meet a violent end. It's too bright, too cheery. Stay safe. Conway. Interesting.
I can see in these letters that the outside world has extremes of beauty and tragedy beyond anything I've known.
Is it this creaking? Interesting. Nope. Here's another. Dear Cornelius? Cornelius. I've thought it over and I have to tell you. The name you picked for your baby? It is terrible. Please do not go forward with it. I pray this letter reaches you in time. Yours, Dorino.
That poor baby.
Ended up with a terrible name, huh? Oh, Dr. Fumio? Please get this letter to Dr. Fumio. I am suffering from memory excess, but cannot travel to the village for treatment. I was praying you could instruct me by mail how to cure myself of this disease. I am unable to forget. Now I realize how important it is to gain open space in the mind. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to forget. Please get this letter to Dr. Fumio.
Before setting up in Karo Village, Dr. Fumio roamed the land curing people. It must have been hard when he wasn't around anymore, especially for people who couldn't travel to the village.
Fabio? No, fabric. 5 rolls. Herbal tea, 20 cans. Dried flowers, 1 box. On back. Trade routes are cut off. Caro's gonna feel even smaller now.
Traders used to come to the outskirts of the village. The war put an end to this.
Oh, a little bench. Nice. Yeah, sketch it. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I am getting some lost frames. God, that's cool looking. So much water. Hopefully you're not missing too much. Oh, that's not bad. Nice. Okay, okay. There's like tags or something there. Take a picture. I didn't take enough pictures.
Most of what I've seen from the outside world probably arrived in a cart
Oh.
like this.
I also want to take a picture of those pile of stuffs. Some kind of gondola system. Interesting. Okay. Back on the bike. Oh, that's strange. That's spooky.
Someone carved notches in the bamboo for the wind to flit through, so it can sing.
Well, that's weird. Oh, you know what else I thought? I think I can adjust. There was this. How's that do? Oh, that's not bad. Let me take a picture from here.
From the village, these cranes look like little creatures, grazing. I had no idea how huge they are.
Truly gigantic. Oh my god, they're getting even bigger. I like that there's a little tire track. It's a nice little detail. Whoa. It almost looks like it's falling. Flooding? House underwater? Water house? Flooding house?
I heard at some point the tides got less predictable. Places flooded that never had before.
I don't think I can ride the bike across this, but... Sealand Transportation Industries, established 543.
A crane to move materials around. The things that used to be possible.
Let me try walking across over here first. Then we'll come back to the bike. Oh, is that a person?
I forgot what I was going to say.
Froggy. Whoa. Spooky. Goat.
I heard that village was abandoned because of a mind disease. Not every community had someone like Dr. Fumio to perform cures.
With a crouch. And carefully approach this goat. You gonna bleat? You gonna bleat? You gonna bleat? It's like
We
we're
learned about
communicating.
technology in school, but not much about animals. What are these strange goat-like creatures? Are they simply goats?
Yeah.
My first time petting an animal.
Oh,
I think it went pretty well.
fantastic. I don't want to pet all of them, because I'm sure one's going to try to kick my ass. Nah, we'll go for it.
That time it felt off. I guess I had beginner's luck before.
Yeah, I'll try and pet them all.
Okay, now I got it back. I'm in control. I can easily pet certain four-legged animals.
What a way to say it. That must be the village that she was talking about. Oh, I guess I could have parked up here, maybe? That was a strange sound. Cranes truly are huge. Oh. I can't cross the water at all. Okay. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Bah. 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 We love goats. We love goats here. Frog. Good frog. It's an interesting sound. Ominous, but interesting. Well, I gotta walk it across. I thought so. But who knows? Sometimes. Here we go. On the road again. I can't wait to be on the road again. That's ominous. It's huge.
I cycled through landscapes, seeing them for the first and last time. I had no idea when I left my home how the season would end, or more importantly, how soon.
Oh, end of a level? End of a level! Okay.
On a cold, damp day, I feel true loneliness for the first time.
Take a chance
Nobody
to
could have described with
do some
words
stuff.
how big this world
Journal.
is, how it goes and goes. I passed through it, where others passed before me.
We'll step to the side for a sec. And open the journal. Oh. That's a nice way to put cutscenes in. Whole bunch of sounds.
I feel nourished in these sights by the unfamiliarity of it all. These means of connection, long in disuse, are certainly telling me something about the world. Will they be used again in the next season?
No. Mm. Nice, nice. Okay, okay. This one. Oh, I didn't get the decorations. Oh, we get a cart. Little stamp. And I'm gonna put one of the letters in. Um, Yeah, that's good. Okay. There we go. Boom. You can probably hear it better from inside
As the
there.
season turns, the reasons behind things might disappear. But the engine may survive. The power is not lost. It's just buried a little.
I thought I might change the season by changing the landscape. Cut these down like trees, but that's not how a season changes.
This person wanted the season to change. Why?
Wind turbines? Looks like I can go over there, maybe? No, maybe not. Oh, yeah. Let me grab a bike, though. You think I can climb that? Oh. Maybe not. No, maybe not. No. There's some of the tall brush that even if I try to run through it, it doesn't let me. Whoops. Whoops. Just takes me back on the path. Can I get up here? I can. No, not all the way. Here we go! The path here is practically covered. Interesting little tree out in the middle here. Interesting. Oh, here's another one. Every line is dead. Every wire is cut. I hate this season.
They wanted the season to change because they were so alone.
I can't interact with this door, right? No. Oops. I guess I hit that too hard. I like that she does automatically get off of it at some points. That's nice. Oh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You're almost there. Uh-huh. Okay.
I have a feeling they use these music boxes to fall asleep.
One voice, one tune, alone in the wilderness, can't last long. Two voices, a melody and a harmony, is enough to survive a little while. Three voices, a community, a song, can last a whole season.
They kept themselves company with music.
Oh, another. Wonder if this one's the same.
Two
It is.
voices is like me and my mom. We can survive, but eventually you need more. Three voices is complex as life is supposed to be. I could listen forever.
Alright, alright, alright. That's a little too much. I suppose I did that to myself, though.
They used the walls like I use my journal.
Can I go up here? No. No. Whoops. I like these flowers. There's like a little pocket of pink ones in there. That's cute. Oops, wrong one. I met a driver from a group that's building a community. I'm leaving with him. Goodbye to this lonesome place. Goodbye to this lonesome season. Interesting.
Looks like they made it out of here. But what is this group?
Whoa. Oh, Tiang Valley. That's one of the postcards we had. And those postcards were from the season before
Places, I found
this one?
companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life.
Oh,
I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
oh. Whoa. Oh.
Let's set the scene for the listener, whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die,
Oh, this before the
this
party?
library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers, but I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there.
Oh. Do you have any advice for my trip?
It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you've gotten a firm hold on it. But as long as you're there to witness it, to take it down in your journal, you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all.
How did you become the elder?
First, I got old. That's an important step.
Man. Man.
Being an elder is all about how you react to strange events.
Got
Key
it.
is not to be surprised, but kind of frown, look serious, and say something like, "It begins."
So be ominous and foreboding.
Never say, "I don't know." Say, "We dive into a pool of uncertainty."
Where were you born?
I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship.
Oh.
The short-lived but glorious, watery republics, floating cities.
Oh.
Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were
That's
a
nice.
jewel of the golden season. Pleasure boats
Golden
with a
season.
radical political program.
Whoa.
How nice. The
Okay.
golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom
Okay.
taught me to read them. She was a ship's philosopher.
You know, that makes sense. If you're living on a ship, I'm sure ship culture becomes very, the thing.
My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death.
I bet.
We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy.
Where did your family come
My
from?
grandparents played with the past. They changed it like we change our wardrobe. So it was a different answer every time. But they often said we were exiles of some kind. Exiled royalty from a secret lineage. Blood that glows in the dark. Or exiled from the mouth of some great leviathan. When they were older, they just said, "We're from here. We're from right now."
What was it like growing up there?
I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. It was so comforting.
I bet.
Picture me as a kid in bed,
I get
feeling the
motion
swaying
sickness,
of the
though.
ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too, wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and oh,
The pool rooms?
there were two dance halls, a large, elegant
Oh.
one and another one in the basement. A lot of my firsts were down there. My first
Oh.
dance, my first kiss, and so forth.
When did you leave?
Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. Took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth.
So the Golden was the season before the war season.
Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off the ship by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out, but they knew, I guess.
What was that? The end of the
Yes,
season?
the start of the war was a turning of seasons.
Okay.
And we had been warned this season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw beautiful lights shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system.
Oh.
It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the prismatic grounds.
What did your parents think?
She saw the meaning of things shifting. It disturbed her greatly. He saw war as a process of turning life, resources, energy, the potential energy in every human soul into waste. Turning human eyes and hands that could paint a landscape into a field of ashes. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The
Yeah.
story gets darker from here on.
Yeah.
Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds.
How did it make her feel?
What's so hard is the feeling of absolute loneliness. Normally, we're all at least roughly in the same flow of time. But with this disorder, you walk alone, truly. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases.
Dr. Fumio?
I decided to go find him.
Jittery. The statue's jittering a little bit.
I found out his name was Dr. Fumio, and he traveled with his son Lucio. People talked about him like he was a god.
What happened when you found them?
I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me.
What happened next?
I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. That night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers.
Oh.
I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again. In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Karo village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring. Hiking, climbing, and when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world, and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing.
That's good.
So why couldn't I? One day, we got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. It was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, As I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean, as if I was back in my bedroom on the ship, as if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home,
Oh.
and nothing could hurt me.
Oh.
I imagined coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in.
Oh, Tiang Valley. Alright, let's update the journal. Journal. This one. I want these. And the music box. About there.
Time seems to pass differently around here. I feel so heavy and so light at the same time. I'm not really alone. I'm with myself. I'm with the earth.
I like the stamps. The stamps are nice. Mm. Right there. Yeah. There we go. And reason behind things may disappear. Yeah. Okay. Grandparents played with the past. Not sure where she comes from. By getting old. I love that reply. She became the elder by getting old. Okay. Tiang Valley. I'm going to take a picture of this sign. Oh, I do have a zoom.
This valley is asking people for a visit. I should oblige it.
Whoa. Is that a light? Maybe. Here we go. I do like the bike. It seems like a single vehicle road. Oh, this is a dam. Let's see if we can get in here. Jiang Valley Dam. Gift from Prismatic Grounds. I had the option to ask her about that, but I
never
didn't.
used this kind of technology in my village. Nobody trusted it.
Oops. Let me see if I can get a better picture. Something a little more interesting. Let me try it from maybe about here. Yeah. Try and get that mechanical hum. Oops, wrong one. Interesting.
Wow, it's still working. It's still delivering power somewhere.
Yeah. I imagine as long as dams can, like, move water through them, like, circulate the water inside them or whatever, they have no problem operating.
A skeletal version of the kind of billboard I saw earlier.
Interesting. Oh, there's the truck.
Must be a car, but it looks weird. I haven't seen one like this in my books.
Oh, oh. People. Person. Oh no.
Oh, the valley. 1 second.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh. Oh. That's interesting.
This looks ancient. It must have been hard to carve a pattern like that into a rock.
Yeah. Whoa.
Is that a stroboscope?
Sure.
What are they called?
A
What?
camera? recorder?
I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story, I guess. What are you doing here?
I'm here to observe and record the world. Yeah, baby. I'm an
The
archivist.
whole thing, huh?
Yeah.
You're young. You got time. What kind of stuff are you recording?
Whatever catches my interest.
That's the way to do it, if you ask me. If anyone asked me, I mean. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
Oh, I can't go to the valley? I want to go to the valley. Here stands the gateway to Tiang Village, home of 3 mindful gods. As you enter, try to imagine the millions of pilgrims who passed under this gate before. They were born, they lived, and they died.
I'm not the first to do this. Just the first in a long time.
Hey,
Oh. Yes? Oh. Huh? What's that?
this was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys?
Yeah?
I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's going to be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there.
Oh.
The dam is falling apart.
Oh. When's it coming
A
down?
couple of days from now.
Whoa.
Day 0, we call it.
We. Yeah?
Greyhounds.
Gray hands.
We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, mine sweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new.
What does gray hands mean?
It was supposed to be because we're helpful yet neutral.
Oh, like the...
We took a vote and decided to change the name, though.
Okay. Huh?
We want something more friendly sounding. I'm excited to find out what it will be. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well... Anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a new element or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So...
Go for it.
I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look.
Yeah.
Gotta try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea.
He was trying to wink.
Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley too.
Yo.
I don't need it anymore.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
Okay. Good timing, good timing. Okay.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley.
Oh. Okay.
I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to. And he gave me a map.
Oh, a map. Oh my god. It's a whole new game. It's a whole new thing. Okay. Open at sunset. Assembly point dig site. A dig site. Okay.
The assembly point seemed like a good place to start.
Sure,
I
sure.
wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley.
Please respect the residents of Tiang Valley. They are not actors or tourist guides or animals, but hard-working folk. Please collect all trash or debris. Okay.
I'll think about what kind of visitor I want to be.
Okay. The entrance to Tiang Valley Shrine. Oh, it's a blank postcard.
It seems like I'll have to wait for night to enter the shrine.
Okay. Is the cardboard guy still here? No. I should take a picture of the cardboard. Dang it. Oh, what's that? Oh, a box? Alright, here I go. Yeah, sorry, I was distracted by a broken tree. Oh man, it's been forever since I've ridden a bike. I used to really like riding my bike. Don't remember what happened. I think maintenance of it kinda changed that. Oh, nice flowers. I wish I could pick the flowers. That would be nice. I'm sure there is a way to. Like maybe specific bundles that you can approach. Oh. Here? Behold the ceremony of the random dead. A person is selected arbitrarily from the graveyard. A monk unearths memories of this person for all to enjoy. Every first Saturday of the month. Sunrise at Tiang Valley Cemetery.
I have wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves.
Interesting. Remember, you made it here, but we made here.
I am
Okay.
probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign.
Let me take a look here. Greyhand. Assembly point seems like a good place to start. Do I have? Oh! Yeah, okay. To record what the group is up to. Okay. Let me take a look at this map. Okay, we are down at the bottom left. So we'll continue straight down the road, I suppose, for the assembly point. And then we could probably loop up around the other side and back through the whole thing. All above will remain, all below will wash away. Oh, is this like the expected
all above will remain, all below
blood
will
point?
wash away.
The well-trodden path. This very path you stand on has been the same since at least 350. Year 350. Okay. Imagine millions of pilgrims walking this humble path to visit the famous Tiang Valley Shrine.
The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500.
Oops. I keep misclicking and opening the camera. Oh, this is a cemetery. I will leave the bike here. I will not pull it inside. Whoa. Okay. It's just the music. I was like, oh. What sound is that? What ghost is talking to me right now? Memory flower. Stop and listen. You might be surprised by what the flowers have to say. Beautiful but dangerous. Remember this helpful mnemonic. Memory flowers few, few. Memory flowers many, danger plenty. What is a memory flower? Memory flowers are unique to Tiang Valley. Their long history is intertwined with the religious practices of the valley.
I wonder what the flowers have to say.
Cool. So I shouldn't get too close to them. Is that what they're saying?
It must have been important to have such an elaborate solitary tomb.
God of sleep, I've been gathering heartache, and I've been gathering courage.
Cool.
If my big prayer is wrong, if it goes against divine will, please spare the people of this valley. We're so desperate for peace.
Whoa.
Memory told over and over again.
Interesting. I get the feeling since there's so many up there, we probably shouldn't get too close to it. But whoa, what's that?
These metal animals are looking up, expectantly.
Sonia. Head monk. Okay. I'm gonna pull my bike across. Well, no, because she said we wanted to go to the assembly first, so should continue down the path, I suppose. I might have to check the map. Map. Assembly point. Oh, we're not on the main road right now. This is the main road. I'm gonna go down and check the dock. I want to check out this weird statue. Oh, memory flowers? Oh, over there. Oops.
This flower has a shimmering quality.
People here are so weak.
I heard gunshots last night.
Oh.
That was us. What is that?
Look at the pond, the water.
What is that pattern?
Should we run or
Oh.
something?
Oh.
Something frightening happened in this memory. But what was it?
Oops. Hungry eyes and empty stomachs. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna record it one more time, just to be sure I heard the whole thing.
Here are so weak.
I heard gunshots last night.
That was us.
Yeah.
What is that?
Look at the pond, the water.
What is that pattern?
Should we run or something?
No, that's it. Dun 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 dun. Back on the mic. Oh my god. Wait, what? Where was that? Was it that siren? Or maybe it was just a emergency warning? Someone testing the system again? He said a few days, but... you know, sometimes stuff happens. Let me check where I am. Yep, this is about it. Flower. Vending machines.
I never learned about this technology in school. Could it be emergency rations from the war?
Not exactly,
I
but...
will leave it alone.
oh. Each Greyhand is their own department. Interested in joining the Greyhands? What would you like to do? How do you want to spend your infinitely precious time on this earth? We will create a position specific for you.
It sounds like they want to adapt their organization to the people in it, and not the other way around.
Oh. Yeah? What? That was correct? No. Whoops. Turn the page. Turn... here? No. This has two hands reaching for each other. There's a letter. And a video. Some kind of emergency point? Probably from initial exits. Incredible, man. Registration? Okay. Oh, perfect.
There must be a lot of people going to the city if they need to keep track of them with cards.
They're evacuating people to Radiant City. Gather around the Grey Hand.
Imagine if the man I met is the only living Grey Hand, and the rest are cardboard.
A new season. Manifesto for the future. Ugh. Everyone knows something is wrong, but nobody knows what. Everyone you meet is paddling aimlessly away. Paddling aimlessly through grief. Everyone you meet is mourning because the last season left behind a beautiful corpse. It is time to bury it and move on. You say, it is not so simple, yes, but the walls that surround us are not as thick as they appear. One of these walls may even be a door. We will summon a moment of psychosis? A moment when we forget that we can't walk through walls, and so we will. What kind of season is on the other side? No one knows because we haven't built it yet. Join us. Oh, I gotta
Grey
take that.
Hands want to end this season.
Right? Right? Alright, I need to take that. Yeah. So it's like a lonely season. Let's see what we got. We got chips. Potato chips. Ooh, we got cookies. Cookies, nice. And bottled water.
These snacks are so identical, as if they were mass-produced.
Yeah.
The snacks of my life have been homespun. Idiocentric, even.
Hmm. There's a generator. Looks like there was at least a few dozen people here. Play the slide reel. No. Oh. Oh. We have no leader. Doing it right this time. Doing it right this time. We will never wage war. The weight of the past will fall off our shoulders and we will see the world as if for the first time. We will hold hands for the right amount of time. Not too brief. Not forever. We will build the next season. Okay. This seemed like
They say they're going to build the next
ball,
season. How?
but that's kind of ominous.
The Grey Hands are the future in all its uncertainty. The good and the bad, the hope and fear of progress.
Yeah.
The loneliness of this season will be left behind. A collective project is coming.
Hmm. I felt the fear of progress. Felt the hope of progress. Gray hands are the future in all its uncertainty. Oh, a stamp. I love the stamps. Oh, that's the little car. I like that one the best. All right. Let me build out these ones a little bit more. Rotate. Zotate.
The elder warned me about valleys. She said
She
they
did
were
say that.
dangerous.
She did say that.
I feel a dulcet tension in the air. I enter to see the moment between seasons.
And the other one that matched it was this one. Almost got it. Almost got it. Yeah, there we go. There's no record of when Tiang Valley came to be. Lives beneath unkept graves. I like little flags. And to put them on this side. I'm gonna slightly rearrange this. Just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Good. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Not the first to do this, just the first in a long time. Okay. Let's see, why not? Yeah. Okay.
God of sleep.
Down there.
People here are so weak.
I heard gunshots.
Mm-hmm. I have to rearrange a little bit, but
A green space. I feel memory in the air like pollen. It reminds me of a poem my dad was never able to finish. The first line was, "If you want to awaken the dead, just whisper."
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Nice, nice. There we go. That's good. I'm gonna put this actually down here. And make this a little smaller. Uh-huh. 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 And yeah. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, something over here. Thank you for helping my daughter find her journal. We were so stressed. One of your people named Soul really took the time to answer all the questions my kids had. He was more patient with them than I am. Thank you for helping an old person like me carry all my heavy luggage. I'd like to be a gray hand when I grow up so I can help people. Oh.
The gray hands seem to care what people think about them.
What is this?
They had to leave so much behind.
Oh. No candles. No food. No fruits, vegetables, grains. No chairs. No kites. No clocks. No crystals. No traditional headwear. No monkey cats. And no cows. I guess we'll find cows at some point. Low elevation is dangerous. Low elevation pool contaminants. Radiant City is located at a high elevation with safe, fertile soil.
The elder also said low places are dangerous. The city is high up like my village. Maybe it is safer.
Radiant City. Blank canvas for your dreams? No thanks. Okay, that sounds really suckish. Community for the full human being. Not the worker, not the parent, not the child. The full human being.
It's hard to imagine something new, a new way of living. But they're trying.
It's just odd. Ooh, lies. The problem, the solution. We will take down the dam ourselves, so we will know when it will collapse.
There seems to be suspicion about the real condition of the dam and why it's being taken down.
Hmm. Let me check this gate over here. I won't be able to get through, but might as well take a look. It's probably where the end of the level is. Oh my gosh, sorry. It's already almost 3 hours. I'm like 20 minutes away. Problem, the solution.
There's a number to call for questions regarding the dam.
Let me do this one real quick. How did we do? Let me take a better picture of the whole thing. There we go.
The process of taking people out of the valley was also a kind of ritual, a way of bridging one life to another. They know the world they're leaving. The next one hasn't been created yet.
Oops. Where'd my thing go? Oh. Adjusting everything real quick. That's probably good for now. I'll try and take another look through. If I have to come back this way. Huh? Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! You hear distant music. Wait. Distant music continues. Hello? Distant sound of someone running towards the phone. Knocking things over. They pick up the phone.
Thank God someone is still down there. I've been trying to get a hold of someone for hours.
No.
Ah, thank you. I forgot the Day Zero materials. You know, the visual literature, the warm bath of ideas? I left it at the dig site. It should be sitting on a barrel with a fruit sticker on it. Oh, wait! Hold on. I forgot to do the secret password. I don't even know who you are. Is it too late now, you think?
Yeah, I think so. No point now.
Yeah, the locals don't use the telephone anyway. The hermit in the woods is afraid to because she got hit by lightning once.
What? What?
Anyways, thanks for answering. Day zero material is in the dig site, pretty sure. It should be sitting on a barrel that has a fruit sticker on it. You know,
Barrel
I
with
guess
fruit sticker.
I was going to say you could bring it to me, but the flood will destroy it anyway. So actually, I was worried for nothing. Everything is lost in a flood. God, we really know what we're doing. I'm excited for this all to be over. I'm excited for this all to begin. Bye-bye now.
The day zero materials. Okay. Interesting. At the dig site. Wow. Kites. Okay. Question is, where am I going to? Into the assembly point, we're going towards the dig site, so down the road and across the bridge. Going over to this little spot first, though. On the right here. Oh, flowers. I'll check that in a second. This is cute.
The faded optimism of a sweet treat makes me feel sad. The golden season must have been full of such little pleasures.
Yeah, okay. Cows! We'll see the cows in a second. Whoa! There's a cow up there. Is it wearing a hat?
Is that your name on your collar? Let's see.
I'm
You
not...
are Madrigal.
I think it's wearing a little hat. That's so cute.
This seems to be where they sewed these lovely embroideries.
One's ready to leave. Ice cream?
I've never drank cow's milk, let alone some kind of frozen version.
Everyone seems to like it. Why is it next to the onions? Those are very different things. Let me go see the cow. Let me go see the cow. Hello. Hello, cow. How'd you even get up here, huh? Oh, are you actually wearing a hat? Can I tell? Oh, it's just the horns. It looks like a little hat. From far away? It's very cute. So what's gonna happen to all the cows? If they couldn't be taken with.
And you are Mata.
Hello. Hello, Mata. Cute. Oh, what's this?
It gives me a headache trying to imagine what a machine like this was used for.
For real, for
I
real.
have no idea.
Taking a picture of every cow. Ugh. Ugh. What a terrible sound.
The valley keeps producing fruit, even when there's no one left to eat it.
Oops.
And your name is Pt.1. I wonder who named you that.
Toupette. Like a toupee? Can I record the sound of the cow? I can. Someone's obviously feeding them. Oh.
The sound of this bell has a lot of
Character?
character.
Read. We're being evacuated. They're moving us to into an apartment building in the Radiant City. There's no room for animals. It breaks my heart, but I have to leave all of you here. I've got the radio turned on to your favorite station. You've always done right by me.
These people had to leave so much behind.
We got a big show today.
Huge show.
Breaking news. The Grey Hands have died.
What?
We're being reborn, baby.
Oh, the new name?
We're taking suggestions for our new name.
Oh.
Live on the air suggestions from the rank and file.
You don't even need to be a Grey Hand to suggest a name.
True, true.
The number to call is 0019. That is
0019.
First caller, hit us with a name.
Hi, yeah. I was thinking the bricklayers.
Okay. Bricklayers.
Laying some bricks.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
We'll be taking them all afternoon, so keep them coming.
That number again is 0019. You're listening to Grey Hand Radio. We are broadcasting live from Grey Hand HQ.
So like
And
Masons?
we're gonna take a little break.
If the Grey Hands are changing their name, you'd know them as something else.
It's the cow's favorite station.
This sounds like it comes from somewhere far away. It makes me want to keep traveling.
Ew, jazz? Is that jazz?
These patterns remind me of the festival outfits in my village. I wonder if these patterns tell stories as well.
Trophy. Best moo. World Cow Championship. Nice. It's so cute. I'm taking that.
Cows from all over the world came here to compete in.
Cow stuff.
The golden season seems like such a different world.
I don't think it was actually from around the world,
You are
but
a cow and you are named Krasnahorkai.
Krasnahorkai. What a name. There's a couple more cows directly in the field that I have missed. Hello.
A beautiful cow named
Gorp. Hello, Gorp. Oh. Oh my gosh, there's so many cows. How am I ever gonna pet them all?
The name of this cow is TVC-15. Oh my.
What a name.
And the 7th cow's name was
Volto. And Volto.
The
Hello.
cow is called Frenzy.
Frenzy. Interesting. There's one further over on the side there. Let's go and get. Let's go and pet
Another cow, another perfect name.
Nelly.
Nelly.
Nelly. Yes, I'm gonna take a picture of every single cow. I'm gonna pet every single cow. Think I could hop on this?
This machine looks powerful. It must have done the work of many people.
Hello, cow.
The 10th and final cow was named.
Oh no, I can't read it.
I can't read it. Time has worn away its name.
Aw.
History will never know the name of this cow. I hope the cows have the sense to hoof it out of the valley before the flood comes.
That's sad. What? There's something over there? That is a graphical thing. Oh, I think that's a cow. Yeah, that's right. I think that's a cow. Where did I leave the bike? It was down on the road, right? Because I wanted to check out the whole thing. I'm gonna grab the bike. Ride it over to that, what looks like another cow in the distance. Probably, I might not actually be able to take it up the stairs. We'll give it a shot. I'll try walking it up. Heck yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Over here? Was it over here? Hold on. Oh, there's a drawing there. Oh. Interesting.
The artist has depicted the Greyhands as a child. They don't have faith in their capabilities, but see them as innocent?
Maybe foolish in a way? Yeah, that was a graphical thing. Let me go to the dig site. Whoops. Whoops, whoops. Ooh. That rock just kind of appeared there. We're gonna go to the dig site first. Then we'll come back over here. Fruit farm. Ah, this is the dig site. Violators will be prosecuted.
Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this.
Oh, I'm being forced to walk.
For every working truck or bicycle, there is always a pile of broken ones, rated to scrape together just enough parts to get one working.
Did you or someone you know suffer from daytime visions? Please contact us.
I wish Pate could call this hotline to talk about his heavy dream.
Well. Alright. We're at the dig site. He asked us to grab the day 0 material? I mean, then he was like, whatever. Restricted area. Oh, let me record the sound of a generator. Whoops. Just to have it. Interesting. Limited access. Authorized personnel only. Well,
There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area.
squeeze through.
I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here?
Let's take a look.
A greyhound said he left his materials behind. It should be somewhere around here.
Ugh. Wiping my nose. Got stuff on it. Venom! That's good. Oh, a picture?
They look relieved to have finished their work.
A note? Let's read it. The local guy who died during Harpic. I put his notebook back where we took it, in the huge tree near the lady's farm. We copied everything out of it anyway. I hope that stops the kid from trying to sneak in to retrieve it. P.S. Could someone fix that hole in the fence?
There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere.
Might be good to grab. Apartments are now open. The renovation and cleaning of the apartment complex is finished. If you haven't yet made a dwelling request, now is the time. Greyhand Dental Care Workshop. Work concludes in Tiang Valley. Day 0 approaches. Please submit new ideas for our new name. Don't be shy. No bad ideas. Names, names, names. Come learn dental health care to help your neighbors. No experience required. Okay, okay, okay. Excited Greyhound volunteers stand around the deposit they uncovered. Deposit?
The work at the dig site has something to do with Day Zero.
Dun 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 dun. Danger. Psychoactive mineral present. Oh, the stones? Handle with care. Do not speak or sing or whistle near the mineral. Oh,
This is the kind of brain trouble my mom warned me about.
turning it off. Just in case. I wonder if the click of the camera will count. I will have to be careful. Just pick it up for now.
Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral.
Actually, I don't know if I can read it after I pick it up.
I wonder what this channel is for.
63-2. Harpic 60E 1875. Research files, Harpic.
They must have already shipped out all the Harpic they need.
Harpic must be the material that they're digging out. Oh.
I wonder what's on this reel. What is Day Zero?
This?
Maybe I can find out more about it.
Oh, back at the assembly spot? Big prayer. Day 0. Radius amount. Secret. Do not use above space.
They dug up all that Harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on Day Zero.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some Harpic, of course.
Don't
Each
form into
god
water.
seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the Harpic, we get the psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
Oh. 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 Whoa.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done.
Hey yo? Real
I
video?
could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present.
Causes time
But
distortion?
now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
A mineral that can affect the mind.
Interesting. I guess I can't get anything from that. Oh. Perfect. Oh. An artifact? Interesting.
The memories of the owner now turned into a beautiful mineral.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. But I feel like that wasn't everything of the materials I was supposed to get. What is the dig site for? Let's see, apartments. That. That. Oh, and that.
The Grey Hands present one side to the public, and another is hidden behind metal fences. There is no one to oppose them. There is only no record of what they did here.
Grey Hands clear the soil of a dangerous mineral that causes mind trouble, secretly collecting a powerful mineral. Researching the powerful mineral found in the soil. Interesting. Was it okay for them to be around it so much? I wonder what would have happened if I left the radio on. Check the map. Might have to go back. Yeah, I'm gonna go backwards. Back across the cow field, I think. What a sound. Wow. What a sound. Oh yeah, I haven't even checked out this field. There was the flowers. I wanted to record. Right over here.
Stay where you can hear me, okay?
Thank God they have electricity down here.
Did you hear from your friend in the Watery Republic?
Oh, Water Republic?
Which one is it?
The Topaz. We can get a ride with them on the coast.
Great. And we're really just gonna leave the car behind.
It's a junker anyway.
Beautiful.
I told you 786 would be our year. I sang you that whole song about it.
They sound so free and happy, just roaming around the world.
Alright, we're gonna check out. I think that big ass tree. Go across the field, I think. Hold on. What a big map. Well, I could go past the dig site again. Because there's only one thing over there. And it's getting kind of late now. So, I think we'll go past the dig site, do everything in that area, do like a couple of journal pieces, and then we'll call it stream. Probably take like 40 minutes. Something like that. Danger. Memory flowers have taken over this field. Do not enter unprotected.
The info sign earlier said they are dangerous in large numbers. I have a pendant though.
I'm not sure if I should test it that harshly. Let's take a look around here. What the hell? Sounds like someone's moving around down there. Or like maybe there's a door?
Whoever's making that sound, I'm glad they sealed this shut.
Like an underground area or something? Yeah. Go off.
Sometimes recording, I feel like a vulture, feasting on a melancholic corpse. Never mind, forget this.
That was kind of morbid. We were recording the sound of crickets. But I think this might be a grave. Or as well. Monkey!
I'm sure these critters will escape the valley before the flood.
Can I say hi? So cute! Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna go in. If this is the spot on the map that I think it is. Yeah, it is. Going to be careful though.
In Cairo, we have a statue to remember Dr. Fumio. But this statue is meant to be worshipped.
I hear a song? Nope. This one? There's a picture. Circle something. A banner. And a water thing? Wow, it's really quiet here.
This field was absolutely full of memories. I'm glad I had my pendant. Otherwise, it would have been overwhelming.
Whoops. Oh, there it is. Well, there's something. May she rest. The year of the din.
The year of the din? Was that how they recorded years in the olden days?
Can I walk across this? Oh, I can. Oops. Oh. No, don't take a picture of it. Pick it up. Find a penny, pick it up. Every day, or all day, you'll have good luck. I'd like to read my favorite book again without knowing what happens. I know it's tedious, but if you could remove my memories of it and give an offering of supreme loveliness. My memories of the war. I don't need them anymore. I don't. They're yours. What I saw by the light of the moon, that pattern in the water, I want to forget it. The pattern in the water. Because I believe
These slips are prayers to this
there's
god.
something else.
Forgetting things. People prayed here. Who did they pray to?
Oops. Do I have to touch it? Hmm. Ceremony bowl where they prayed at. So there's that thing. There's that thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to put. Oh. There's stones down there. Nope. Interesting. So this is obviously the bowl. But like, what do I do? You know? Must have to get this. Oh, wow, look at it. Super pink. Some kind of face stone? Let's take a look. No, that's the exit. That one's real loud. Oops, wrong one. Hmm. Hmm. How do I know what to do? What is this? There's two panel things. There's a wall. A wall railing. Can I get back there? Whoops. Whoops. Think I'll respawn? Think I'll respawn? Oh, awesome. Okay. Save and exit. Okay. What did that save? Okay. Where's my bike? My bike! Oh, it's all the way over there. It's okay. Maybe it'll give me a chance to look at some stuff. Like, I'm sure I must have to take a picture of one of these things, right? Oh, I just got an interact button. Well, that didn't help, did it? Alright. We'll fill out some more of the journal, and then we'll call it stream. And that will end in this strange limbo moment.
This is
Go
a
in and edit
season
more.
where memories echo on and on and on and on. Will the echoes fade away, or will they be cut off abruptly?
Wait, flip these? No. Oops. Oh, yeah. I didn't get the rest of the stuff? Oh, I have to take a picture of that. And go to the radio station. Okay. Well, we'll go backwards that way anyway, so that works. Something odd, this mineral, it feels alive somehow.
What we do to the land eventually makes its way into our blood and our brains. This can define a season.
Told to check out the gray hand, so. And dun 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 dun. Discard that. And discard that. Whoa. My game's really glitching out. Come on. And let's save some space for when I go back over there. Cows. Do I have the name of every single cow? I once read that cows can only go upstairs, not down. Is the hay sweeter there? Oh my gosh, you get something for taking a picture of every single cow? That's wonderful. You're all very independent, aren't you? I'm definitely putting that picture in. Not done yet.
Compared to my village, they lived in the open here. They lived on the land itself. I hope in the future, at least some people are still living like that.
No. I would like to put one of every single cow in, but I think there's too many. Da-da-dum. I think I might just cover the text. The majority of the text. Yes. I love the cow farm. It was very nice. Okay. Okay. I'll have to do some more on my own, but I'm liking this. We might continue this on Tuesday. What's Tuesday? I think next week might be the last. Okay, not next week, but the week after will be my last before I have to go away for like a week. Oh my god, PNG baby, where are you at? There you are. Hide that. Not the alerts. Yeah. I expect that next week we'll be doing more drawing stuff. We'll probably play this one day next week, and then have 2 drawing streams. After that, tomorrow we're going to probably be playing Overwatch, unless I decide to just come back to this. Yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else. Not a whole lot else going on. Next week and the week after, last 2 weeks before I go on like a week-long vacation. After that, we'll be back. Usual stream schedule: Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good day, whether it's tomorrow or today. And goodbye.